Big series against RPI #1. What's the thoughts? What's the mentality going into this one?
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for us. Kentucky, I never look at a team until we've played somebody else, until we're ready to play them. So I was up late last night and up early this morning, watching as much video as possible. And wow, what a explosive offense, strike throwing, pitching staff, experienced team, a lot of older players. And going on to turf, going in some different weather. So what a big challenge and great opportunity, which you get every weekend in this conference. But these guys are playing with a lot of confidence. They played LSU tough last weekend. Put a lot of pressure on you on the bases, a lot of pressure on you with the bunt game. So free bases cannot be given up. It cannot be given up. And we're going to have to handle the baseball really well on defense.
I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but as you get through these last couple of series and you're kind of trying to feel out that starting pitching thing, how important is it to know that you can kind of settle that down for when you do get to postseason play and starting pitching? Depth at starting pitching is important.
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand, we have obviously a huge issue with our starting pitching. On the flip side of that is a lot of guys have gotten to pitch. So if we can continue to improve on the mound, get Nathan specifically going, because so you can have at least one guy that can give you innings and give you length, then there's a lot of experience. A lot of guys have gotten experience, whether it be freshmen like Lampkin and Sadeo, and even redshirt freshmen like Sexton, or the guys like Wansing and Cortez who are in their sophomore year. So, I think there's a silver lining in every cloud, and again, kind of like a microcosm of our team, I still believe our best days are ahead of us that way, if we can continue to improve, which is what you want. I think there's teams across the country, no disrespect to anybody, but there's always teams across the country that have already played their best baseball. And there are teams across the country, and I hope we're one of them, that we haven't played our best baseball yet. But it needs to come sooner rather than later.
Do you know what you'll go rotation-wise this weekend?
No, just Detmer in the first game, and then Wansing had a really good sim game on Monday that I still have a lot of belief in him. I think he's capable of doing great things for us. Still believe in Lampkin, and we'll just have to piece it together. I mean, sometimes, kind of like last year, last year's team was the most perfect team. I've said that a lot. They were imperfect in that we really didn't have a clear-cut pitching staff. We didn't play great defense. But if you look across the board, last year our success was built on about 5 or 6 guys. This year, I think there are 8 to 12 guys that are capable of helping us, so it's deeper. But we don't have that bell cow just yet, or 2 of them, like we had in Nathan and even Micah Dallas, who didn't have great numbers, but you could count on him being out there. So we do catch the ball better than last year's team, and our offense is coming on pretty steadily. So I like the way we're trending. Just need to be more consistent, and now it's going to be the last 5 series in the league, or 3 of them are on the road. So you better put your big boy pants on, man. We're in for a heck of a ride here.
Coach, I know you mentioned the turf surface. Just how much does that alter the game versus playing on a natural surface, and how does the artificial surface help a team like Kentucky that likes to play those small, faster games?
Well, I think the transition from grass and dirt to turf is easier than the opposite. I've seen that a lot. There's not too many bad hops on turf. The ball, all the turf fields are different. You can design your turf field however you want. I've seen them play really slow, like Texas, or Texas used to be, and I've seen them play super fast, like Kansas State was a super fast, like almost like the old school artificial turf that you saw in the 80s and 90s. So haven't seen Kentucky's yet or been on it, but just normally the ball is on the ground or move faster. So the guys that don't move as well get exposed, and just their ability, they bunt a lot and bunt aggressively, bunt with 2 outs, bunt with the bases loaded, safety squeeze, and so the key is going to be when they bunt, just get it out. It's an out. Just get it out. Don't panic. The teams that do that count on you throwing the ball away. And, of course, not too many people you can't safety squeeze if there's nobody on base, right? So you got to keep the leadoff hitter of the inning off base, and then just handle the ball when they do. But they also hit for power, and as I'm told, the ball it's a short porch in right field. So I've never been there, so I can't speak as to necessarily how it's going to play. And there may be part of that field that plays to our advantage. But the most important thing is that we're going to have to limit free bases, which for some of our games has been a problem, and we're really going to have to handle the bunt when they bunt. Just make sure we get it out somewhere.
What do you make of the big innings lately, Coach? Obviously, the 9 runs against Mizzou, and then last night, I mean, you said your offense is trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think.
Off a big inning, or is that
No, I think. Well, I mean, the old school saying in baseball is, in most games, most real baseball games, the winning team scores more runs in one inning than the other team scores in a game. So over half of the games have played at just about every level are like that. So how do you avoid a big inning, or how do you create one? Well, you avoid them by not giving up free bases. You create them by getting free bases, and then all that stuff is surrounded by one big hit. So a bases clearing double or a home run. And so, we're a team that I think we're first or second in the country, like last year, in pitches per plate appearance. So we tend to see a lot of pitches. So if you're not a strike throwing club, then we got a chance to get you. And then we also, now with Minnick back and Jason there, and Jordan Thompson starting to swing the bat a little bit better, we're a threat to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And so when you do that with free bases, then there's your big innings.
Just kind of initial thoughts on the new recruiting calendar, recruiting rules.
Yeah, in general, I'm for it. I think it's a travesty that we ask a young person in their freshman, sophomore year, even junior year, but freshman, 8th grade, 9th grade, sophomore year, to make a decision on college when their brain isn't even fully developed to make those kind of decisions, and when their peers in their classroom, right? So you have little Billy, who's a 9th grader, and he's sitting next to Jenny, who's not an athlete. Why should Billy have to make a choice on college when Jenny's not even going to be thinking about that until, her junior, senior year? And so it's just not natural to do those things. But the competitiveness of our sport, how much money's been put in our sport, they fire coaches quick these days, so you got to keep up with the Joneses within the rules. And so I think trying to slow that down is what the goal is. So I think I'm for those things. It's just in today's competitive world, the first thought goes to, for every coach, what's the workaround, right? How are we gonna get an edge in that world? And so I'm sure there will be people that do that. But I think in general, it's a really good thing, and allows kids to develop, and allows us to look at players and evaluate players closer to the time in which they're going to be here, so we can make better decisions and they can make better decisions.
How much do you expect Caden to play moving forward after big night last night?
Yeah, I think Caden is a really good player. He can do a lot of things for us. He can play multiple positions, both in the infield, the outfield. He's our emergency catcher. The issue is where do you fit him in, right? And I'm just not giving up on Austin Boast. I'm just not. I know we have if you want to go straight analytics, I don't know the exact numbers. Nolan Kane was telling me last night, in the major leagues, balls hit, it doesn't matter the exit velocity, but balls hit between like 10 degrees launch angle and 30 degrees launch angle. Guys that hit balls in that area, like on our team, Hunter Haas and Jack Moss hit the most in those areas, and they're each hitting over 360. Austin Boast hits the next most. He's hitting 220. Like, he's literally the most unlucky guy. It's like, what is it from Bull Durham? Like, we need to, what is it, like, sacrifice a chicken, or I don't want to get in trouble with like the animal people, but we're not going to do that. But like, he needs to go to church more or something. But anyway, but Caden's a really good player. He's just, and we knew going in, this is a veteran team that's going to be hard for a young player to jump in on. And he's played in over half our games. He's gotten a lot of at-bats. If you compare that to other freshmen across the SEC, he's played more than most. And we want him to get at-bats, and because we're counting on him being a centerpiece of what we're doing moving forward. It's just a matter of fitting him in when, you know, Boast and Werner, Haas, those guys are all, you know, they're established college players at positions that he plays. And then you have a special player in Jace. And now with Minnick back, that's what's caused him to have fewer at-bats. But he's right there. He's the first guy off the bench. And if somebody needs a day off or if somebody gets hurt, then Caden can do a lot of things.
You mentioned Lavalette. How did he handle the late scratch last night from a mental?
Yeah, he's fine. Oh, yeah, he's fine. He gets it. And that's he was top step rooting for Caden and ready to go if we wanted him to pinch hit. So Jace is a very mature player, and you know, for a guy who's had as so much individual notoriety, he's a team guy through and through. So he's fine.
Anything else, guys? Good?
That's it. All right. Have a good weekend, y'all.